coming in at number 4 is Soul, which we haven't talked
Yeah,
about yet. Was released.
we have talked about
Was it released on Christmas Day?
on Christmas Day on Disney
Yeah,
Plus.
it was good. I enjoyed it. Um, you seem to have liked it a lot more than I did.
Yeah, well, I was just really sort of taken away by Soul. That's not the right word. I was just really I wasn't expecting to be as good as it was, and it wasn't just like the raw quality of it, but it was more I just didn't expect it to be in the way it was. Like, so I go into this in a little more detail on the blog, but like Inside Out and Coco and other like recent Pixar films have been very sort of emotionally heavy-handed, and I thought,
Right.
oh, here we go, here's Soul. It's going to be really sort of like really again like really heavy-handed. It's going to have a really big emotional wallet, but no, it was just like it was a very sort of low-key, relaxed kind of film. It
Yeah.
was a very chilled look. It felt like a very intimate story. It's
Yeah.
just one guy, and he wanted to get to his concert, and that was it. And in the process of that, the message, the moral of the day is just appreciate the small things in life. Stop and smell the
Yes.
roses.
So I really, really, really like the message of Soul, which is just appreciate, being alive, appreciate the little things that make your life amazing and wonderful. And that sequence where he's like, playing the piano and remembering his life, that was
Yeah,
it. That, I mean, very, very, very close to making me cry because it was just such a excellently, beautifully executed sequence.
yeah,
And it had a lot of positives. I just thought it was paced really very strangely. Almost, this complete like breakneck pace that was very, very odd. And also, I don't know, it didn't have as big as an impact on me as I was expecting. Maybe, I don't know. I feel like it's diet Inside Out in a way.
so that's an interesting thing because from the same starting point, I see it as a sort of more mature Inside Out, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, well, Inside Out has to like really hit you over the head with like, now you must cry. Look at
Big
the sad bit.
Bob.
You must cry.
Yeah.
Oh, you'll make me cry. But I think I felt Soul was a lot more sort of almost more sure of itself, and that because I nearly cried at Soul, but not because there was a big scene which said you may now cry, just because I sort of reached the end of it and I just felt it, I vibed with it. That's my best way of describing Soul. It was just a
Wow.
really good,
Just vibed with it, bro.
yeah, which is very appropriate
Yeah.
considering the sort of the general ethos of it.
Yeah. I thought Jamie Foxx was great. I thought he did a good job.
Yeah.
Surprise appearance by Richard Ayoade.
Yes.
Also did a good job.
Also, because we talk about animation a lot, so I want to do for a minute just talk about how great the animation is in Soul.
The animation is incredible. Like, genuinely just astounding. It's so good.
Yeah, like again, they've rendered a sort of a theological kind of concept in a visual way, which has charm and character and sort of
Yes.
and goes outside of the box in terms of trying to
I
replicate that.
loved the animation on those. What were they called? They all had the same name, and I can't remember what it was. Terry or something.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Jerry.
Jerry. Yeah.
Yeah.
All of the animation on the Jerrys was incredible because but also rendered a what was it, like a 2D image on a 3D plane.
Yeah, it
And
was
they,
the interactivity between dimensions, the way the lines weren't conformed to the
yeah,
realm of physics in that world.
and yeah, all the Jerrys were like they were done really, really well. Like the animation on that was, well, I want to say, like pure animation in a way, wasn't it? Because you can't do
Yeah,
that
exactly.
in live action at all. Like that was done so well.
Yeah. Also, the great beyond, isn't it? The big sort of stairway to heaven, as it were. That there's something so simplistic, but just absolutely like existentially terrifying about that design.
Yeah, I like that. That was good as well.
But even on the smaller scale, like the animation in the human world, we sort of take it for granted now because Pixar has been the sort of the lead of 3D animation for so long.
Yeah.
But just like the minutiae of detail in that world in terms of the movement, like the piano playing in particular. If you watch his fingers, they move across the keys.
Yeah.
It you just sort of forget it's animated. It has so much detail in the way it moves.
Yeah, it's
It
good.
is phenomenal.
So Georgia in the chat has just said that they had an entire unit of people just for making jumpers.
That does not surprise me.
Yeah, I mean it's just done so well.
Yeah. I
One
feel like I should also address the Penny's comments of I thought you guys hated Disney.
It's Disney
I
Pixar.
Well, I hate Disney as a business, but there are, as I've always said, there are great people working beneath, for Disney.
Yeah.
Great things have come from Disney Corporation, but they have one of the most horrific business groups. That's the word. Yeah, business practices I've ever seen. So in The Mandalorian, Disney, that's great.
Yeah, they're also very predatory, aren't they?
Yeah, there's just something, I don't know, exploitation-y about their whole sort of like approach to marketing, I feel. But
yeah.
Yeah.
One little nitpicky moment about Soul, and mild spoilers if you haven't seen Soul. But you know the bit where the soul goes into his body and he goes into the cat's body?
Right, yes. I'm glad someone brought this up.
And they have this, he does this thing, they have this very, only the soul in his body can understand him, and everyone else just thinks he's this cat that's making loads and loads of noise, right? And they have this scene where there's this very, very emotional moment where he's being very honest and truthful with his mum, who's very dominating in his life, and she's like, oh, you need to stay as a teacher because you shouldn't follow your dreams because it's not very safe economically and all this stuff. And he's like finally saying to her like, I want to be a musician because I want to do something with my life. Have this very, very heart-to-heart, very heartfelt moment. But all the whole time, all I could think of was, in order for him, who's still currently in the cat, to get these words to the soul, this conversation would be so stilted as the mum replies to him, he then turns to the cat, who then meows its fucking head off for 5 minutes, he then turns back to the mum and then says the words.
And she just sort of doesn't even notice.
And she seems completely fine with the fact that this cat is going fucking mental in the corner.
See, that wasn't what I was going to mention. My nitpick with the cat thing is, so his like dead body in the hospital vision is the cat, and then him and 22 go down. 22 goes in the body. He goes in the cat. Now I thought they were going to make the joke of, oh, cats don't have a soul. Oh no, he ejects the cat's soul from the cat's body.
Yeah, the cat just fucking dies.
The cat ends up on the elevator to heaven. Yeah. The cat fucking died. They killed the cat.
Yeah.
And it never came out. I was like, Jesus Christ. And then, when they get out of the body later, the cat's up and walking. It's like, well, hang on, whose soul was in that? The cat's dead. You killed the cat.
You got into the cat. Oh my god.
It still has a body count.
Yeah. Okay. Should we move on from Soul?
Yeah, we have had a comment from Penny about Soul.
Yeah. I really liked Soul, but the reason I didn't love Soul, love Soul, was that you didn't get to see what they did with their new chance at life. So unsatisfying. Yeah, there was a bit of that. It was a little bit unsatisfying.
Yeah, I mean, if I were to argue against that, I'm not necessarily saying I do or don't agree with it. I don't know, but like, it's sort of the open to interpretation of what he could do anything with his life, so I conform to one and sort of leave the door open, I guess. But yeah, I mean that's a fair criticism.
Yeah,
that's sort of like a setup without a payoff.
Yeah, it was a little bit unsatisfying. I didn't. Yeah, it was good.